7. The blank smile. There are smiles that don't warm you up, but send a chill down your spine. The lips curve just enough, flawless, as if practiced in front of a mirror thousands of times. But behind the eyes lies a dark void. No spark, no soul. That isn't a smile, it's a mask. Imagine sharing with a new colleague about a recent death in your family. Your voice trembles, hoping for a nod of sympathy, a gentle word. But what you get back is only a faint smile, a hollow nod, and a cold subject change. So, what's for lunch? The smile stays frozen on their lips, but in you, it leaves the feeling of falling into an empty pit. Researchers call this emotional mimicry. They can copy a smile, a glance, a nod, just enough to trick you into thinking they empathize. But inside there's nothing, just a thin mask, used as a social tool. You notice it when that smile looks identical in every situation, when they never ask more, and when they're always quick to leave before touching any real layer of emotion. 6. Calm in crisis. There are moments when the whole world seems to explode, yet they just stand there, quiet, detached, like a distant spectator watching a tragedy that has nothing to do with them. No trembling, no panic, not a drop of sweat. Only a calm so eerie it unsettles you. Picture a car crash right before your eyes, people screaming, dialing emergency services, breaking down in tears, but they step forward, voice slow, steady. Stay calm. Call an ambulance first. Every word they say makes sense. Every action is correct. But you don't see even a flicker of fear in their eyes. They observe as if watching a movie scene, not standing in the raw chaos where blood and tears mix together. Science calls this a deficit in fear response. In those with psychopathy, the amygdala, the brain's fear center, barely fires. Instead of trembling, they analyze. Instead of anxiety, they calculate gains and losses. Sometimes this calm saves the moment, but to others, it's chilling because it's not courage, it's emptiness. You'll notice this when they never panic, even as others scream. When, instead of holding and comforting, they plan like a cold strategist. And that silence, that composure, instead of reassuring you, makes you feel as if you're standing next to a machine without a heart. 5. The scripted empathy. Some words of comfort don't soothe. They just fill silence. They ring out like empty lines, read from an old script. I understand. It'll be okay. Stay strong. So familiar that you start to wonder, is this real empathy or just a mask made of words? Imagine you've just lost your job and a message arrives. Hope you get through this soon. Short, polite, identical to the ones they've sent others before. Repeated, recycled, predictable down to the last word. You wait for warm eyes, a hand on your shoulder, but nothing comes, only text. Researchers note that many psychopaths learn to mimic the language of empathy. They don't feel it, but they know what normal people would say, would do. So they repeat it, like memorizing a role. What you hear isn't emotion, but a performance designed to maintain an image. You'll know it when words of comfort arrive with no action behind them. When care exists only in text, never in a real embrace. And most of all, when the words feel like they could be for anyone, not truly for you. 4. Vanishing guilt. One day, they hurt you. The next day, they act as if nothing ever happened. No concern, no remorse, just a void where guilt should have lived. Have you ever heard an apology like this? Sorry if I upset you. Cold, clipped, meaningless. Then the next morning, they laugh and joke as if yesterday never existed. A week later, it happens again. Cruel words, an empty apology, then forgetting. The cycle spins, and you grow weaker. On the PCLR checklist, lack of remorse is central to psychopathy. They may know their actions cause pain, but the emotion, the sting of guilt, the urge to make it right, is completely absent. For them, guilt is just a short performance, used when needed to keep the connection alive. You'll notice this when apologies are always brief, recycled like templates. When behavior never changes no matter how much you point it out. And when your pain is dismissed as trivial, brushed aside while they move on, as if nothing happened. 3. The reward chase. They don't seek love, they hunt rewards. To them, relationships aren't bonds, but games, where winning is the only prize. Have you ever been captivated by someone so charming it felt magnetic? They make you believe you're special, that they truly need you. But once you open up, once you trust, They take what they want, be it information, advantage, or just the thrill of conquest. And then they vanish. Studies show psychopathy is tied to thrill-seeking and impulsivity. They're driven by rewards, power, pleasure, control. Love isn't the goal. What they crave is the moment of victory, the moment they watch you collapse as they walk away. You'll see it when they always chase novelty, always need stronger stimulation, when their relationships are short, shallow, and end in abandonment. And when you realize with them, love was never a journey, it was only a hunt. 2. The predator's stare. That gaze isn't to see you, it's to pierce you. It lingers, unblinking, leaving you with the uncanny sense of prey being tracked. It's not ordinary attention. It's a cold dissection, as if you're just an object being weighed for value. Imagine sitting in a cafe, talking about your dreams, about what makes you happy. They sit silent, not responding, just staring. No sparkle of joy, no hint of empathy. That gaze is like a blunt blade, sliding slowly across your skin, making you shiver. When you stop, waiting for a reply, they only smirk faintly and stay silent. Researchers call this the predatory stare. For psychopaths, eyes aren't for connecting, but for measuring, controlling. They read you like a report, not as a human being. And that silence doesn't soothe, it suffocates. You'll recognize it when the gaze lingers too long, when they barely blink, when it makes you feel small, exposed, vulnerable. That isn't admiration, it's possession. 1. The strange calm after hurt. After hurting someone, normal humans feel guilt, worry, regret. But for them, there's only a strange calm, as if the wound you cradle is invisible to their eyes. Picture a blazing argument. Their words strike like knives, cutting deep. You break down, trembling, nearly shattered. But instead of panic, apology, or even awkwardness, they sit there, pouring more water, adjusting their jacket, serene, as if a regular meeting just ended. They look at you with puzzled eyes, as if they don't understand why you're so dramatic. Psychologists say this lack of emotional response comes from the ability to completely detach from guilt or remorse. To psychopaths, your pain is only information, nothing more, nothing less. They may understand what they did, but they don't feel it, so they just keep moving forward, while you're left in pieces. You'll notice this when, after causing you pain, they act like nothing happened. While you're still crying, they change the subject, or get annoyed that you're making a big deal out of nothing. And when you realize their silence, their calm, hurts more than their sharpest words. All right, these 7 reactions are not just odd behaviors. They are the traces of a cold survival mechanism. A smile that is nothing but a mask, a soulless calm in the middle of tragedy, an empty stare where emotions should exist. When you stand close to people like this, you begin to feel yourself shrinking, as if your emotions are nothing more than a meaningless performance before their eyes. The more you reach for empathy, the more emptiness you receive. And if you let them in too close, you will be pulled into a game where the loser has already been chosen, and it's you. So, what should you do? The brutal truth is, you cannot change them. No plea, no love, can ignite light in a place where light never existed. The only thing you can do is keep your distance, set boundaries, and protect yourself before that emptiness infects you. Because if you don't, the price you pay will not only be your time and trust, but your very psychological safety. Remember, recognizing these signs is not meant to make you fear them. It is meant to show you when it's time to walk away, before it's too late.